Hi guys, and welcome back to the Library of Alexandria. I did not film another opening, so that's what this is, because this is part 2 of the book haul video that was begun yesterday. So I had to film a closer for that one and an opener for this one. So without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and get back to the book haul. Next up, we have The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. First of all, Theodora, what a freaking cool name. That's so awesome. This book was sent to me by maybe the nicest person in existence, Kate at Love Story. If you are not checking out Kate's channel, it is fantastic. It is just cozy. She is so kind and so nice. She is a Discworld convert. I have converted her into the City Watch. She loves the Guards book, and she's also read the We Free Men. She is so nice. Just a wonderful, peaceful, like calming, kind, gentle presence on my Discord. She's amazing. Check her channel out. It's going to be down there in the description as well. So this book is like the daughter of Dr. Jekyll and the daughter of Dr. Frankenstein and the daughter of Dr. Moreau solving crimes, like with Holmes and Watson in Victorian England. That just sounds so freaking cool. She sent me this in hopes that we could do a buddy read. I think she sent it to a couple other people so that we can all do a buddy read this year sometime. I am totally for that. It sounds so awesome. I think there's a couple other books in this series. It just sounds really good and definitely kind of a break from the more military epic fantasy. I love things that are set in Victorian England. I love steampunky kind of things, and I love me some Sherlock Holmes. So I am pumped to read this. Kate, thank you so much. You too are amazing. Next up, Boosh, The Killing Moon by N.K. Jemisin. I think this is book 1 of the Dreamblood duology. I think there's only 2 books in this. And this was sent to me by none other than my teammate and fellow victor in the Shelf Space Reindeer Games Readathon, Alicia. And she also has a fantastic channel. I will link that down in the description. She was on my team, the Snow Misers, the winning team for the Shelf Space Readathon. She's fantastic as well. This book is actually the N.K. Jemisin book that I'm most interested to read. I read City We Became, and it was not for me. I DNF'd it like 80% through because it just wasn't for me. And I know Jesse's read several Jemisin books and, you know, isn't super in love with Jemisin, but then Jesse at A Bookish Mom loves Jemisin and loves all of Jemisin's stuff. So I'm excited to read something else by Jemisin and kind of see where I stand on the Jemisin bandwagon. This is about dream magic, I think, right? That's this one? Yeah, they harvest the magic of the sleeping mind and then kill people they judge corrupt, like in their sleep. That sounds freaking awesome. So I'm excited to read this. I don't know when I'm going to get around to reading some Jemisin. I got to get past these first 3-4 months of this year so I can just read some other stuff. I'm going to do it. Thank you so much, Alicia. You're amazing as well. So my buddy and patron, Knight of Alexandria, Kai, sent me Boosh, The Player of Games by Ian M. Banks. So this is book 2 of the Culture series, which is a sci-fi series that kind of examines, you know, what happens when humankind has no need. Like when humankind has no more needs because they are run by a hyper-intelligent AI that provides for all of their needs, and then they try to convert, you know, everyone else in the galaxy to their way of thinking, and what happens when people resist to that. The first book is called Consider Phlebas. I want to read it. It was on the list of sci-fi series that we were going to do a read-along for on my channel, but apparently it did not sound interesting enough to enough people besides myself and Kai. And so, you know, Red Rising won, and that's fine. We're going to read Red Rising. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited to read Red Rising as well. But Kai has read the first 2 books of the Culture series, and he sent me this one. He said Player of Games is significantly better than the first book. Reading reviews, most people say that a lot of people say that this is the best one in the whole series. Oh man, I'm super excited to read it. I gotta read more sci-fi, and so I really am excited to read this and just kind of the themes it explores. The fact that there's an AI that controls you know, provides everything and then, but like doesn't take kindly to people that don't convert to its way. That just sounds so cool. So I also have another Ian Banks book called The Algebraist, which I have not read. So I want to read some Ian M. Banks this year especially. I'm going to read more sci-fi, and you know what? Maybe this will be the next sci-fi series we read along. Probably not. They're probably going to vote for Hyperion. So maybe this one will be after Hyperion. Anyway, thank you so much, Kai. Kai does not have a channel, but you can find Kai in my Discord. You can find him in the Shelf Space Discord. You can find him in several other Discords. He's just so awesome to talk to, so fun to be around, super supportive of just everybody and the community. Just a great guy. Next is Stormglass by Jeff Wheeler, another blessedly 350-page novel. This was sent to me by the wonderful Joanna. Joanna has also sent me, it fell. There's usually a picture of like a wave up there, and it is just the best thing for the background of these videos, but it fell when I was moving these books, but it's there on the top shelf, or right there where those paperbacks are, but it's flat, so you can't see it. She sent me this, and this looks right up my alley. Look, the privileged live in sky manners, held aloft by a secret magic known only as the Mysteries. I grew up playing JRPGs, and there is nothing like an elitist society that lives in the sky while the dirty-footed plebs hang out on the ground being plebeian. And that's just what this seems like what it is. Seti Pratt is a waif doomed to the world below. Oh, I love waifs doomed to the world below. So I don't know what this is about. I've literally never heard anybody talk about this book ever, but it sounds super cool. It's short. I am so glad I'm acquiring like some of these short books that I can read between these ridiculous epics. I think this is a first in a series. I don't think it's a standalone, which, you know, sucks, but that's fine. I'm definitely excited to read it. Thank you so much, Joanna. If you're not checking out Joanna's channel, which she just started, Joanna has just started a channel, and it is booming. She is just an incredible personality on BookTube. She's so warm and so kind. She is also in my Discord a lot, in the Shelf Space Discord a lot. She's working her way through Malazan. She's in book 4, House of Chains, which I like a lot better than most of the Malazan fandom. She's just wonderful. Please check her out and show her some love as well. Thank you, Joanna. You're amazing. Next, we have Boosh, Soul of the World by David Mealing. And this was sent to me by my wonderful friend and patron, the Knight Stephanie at Stephanie's Bookverse, which if you are not checking her out, please go check out her channel. She is amazing. She is super wonderful. Her channel is awesome as well. She was one of the first people I met on BookTube as well, because she is in the Top Shelf Society. They read really finer things books and have a live show every month. In November, they asked me to fill in for somebody, and we read Rebecca, which was just a super fun time. I love Stephanie. She's joining us for the Feb Rising read along. She hangs out in my Discord, in the Shelf Space Discord, and other Discords. She is great. Please show her channel some love as well. Putting it right there in the description, like all the other channels. And she sent me this because she said I'm the only person she's ever seen have this on their list besides her. And guys, the city simmers with discontent, civil war looms. On the battlefields, Colonel Eris de Errant must lead her soldiers against the armies in the south. Military fiction, civil war. You can just go ahead and sign me up for this thing. It's multi-POV, military fiction. I don't know anything else. I also, like Stephanie, have literally never heard anybody talk about it. So I'm excited to read it. Stephanie, if you're watching this, maybe you and I can buddy read it at some point and, see what it's like. And then if it's really good, I like discovering books that like no one's read and tell everyone about them. Long Price Quartet. If you're not reading Long Price Quartet, please read Long Price Quartet. I just finished Autumn War, and I haven't filmed my review yet, but I'm gushing. Oh my gosh, guys, just read Long Price Quartet. It's so good, so good. Next, from the amazing, indomitable fellow greatcoat and patron, Evie, who is also the first winner and just amazing winner of Bookish Jeopardy on my channel. We're gonna have another episode in February. Tune in for that. She sent me Boosh, Sheep Farmer's Daughter by Elizabeth Moon. So, no one's gonna buy this book for the title, Sheep Farmer's Daughter. And the cover is this is kind of about a woman who goes to war. She's a sheep farmer, the daughter of a sheep farmer, and she joins the military. I know that Kevin hates this book. I mean, guys, if you don't know Kevin, I'm going to talk about Kevin in a minute. Kevin's wonderful. He's an awesome guy, and he has read more books than you. He's read 1,000 books every year. Every year he reads at least 1,000 books, and he goes back and forth through time, reading all the books that have ever been written and all the books that ever will be written. He has read them. He does not like most of them, and he will tell you. And he lurks. This is why he's Kevin the Undying. No one can read as much unless you can travel through time or are a vampire. And so you don't think he's there in the Discord, and then I say something about how I love Guards or the Watch books, and then there he is. Like, you turn around, he's right there telling you how much the Guards books suck. And I laugh every time. Kevin is great. Kevin doesn't like this book, but this book is actually, because it's little known, me and the patrons decided in February we want to do a buddy read of a kind of lesser known book. And so everyone pitched ideas of kind of books that are lesser known, and I drew like 4 of them out of the hat, and then we voted on them, and Sheep Farmer's Daughter was the winner. So this is my patron buddy read for the month of February, and you know, I guess we're all excited. I'm excited because I wanted to do lesser known books, because otherwise, like, I would have a hard time finding time to slot this in, especially with all these other books that I'm like, yeah, I've never heard of. This gets a way to force them onto my TBR so I can experience them and decide whether I like them or not. So the main character's name is Pax, short for Paxenarian, which is just freaking cool. I love military fiction, military fantasy. This is military fantasy, and it's a woman joining the army. I'm pretty sure I'm going to like this book, and regardless, it's just going to be fun reading it with some other people, books that we've never really heard a bunch of people talk about, so we are excited. Thank you so much. If you're not checking out Evie's channel, she actually just recently started a channel as well. It was Reads and Rides. I think it's now She Was Only Evie. I'll link it down there below. Please check her out. She is hilarious. She rides horses. If you look on her wall and her videos, she has won so many freaking awards for horseback riding. It's absolutely amazing. She's the master of the horse of the Knights of Alexandria for sure. She also sent me Boom! The Grace of Kings by Kevin Liu. So this book is an Asian-inspired fantasy. It is a clash of empires, clash of militaries, armies, intrigue. That's really all I know about it. I heard someone say it doesn't go super in-depth into like the characters. It's much more about the plot. Maybe I've got that completely reversed. I don't know. I've been wanting to get this book for a while. It looks freaking awesome. I just love this kind of stuff. And I also really love Asian-inspired fantasy as well. And then the last book that Evie got me is a book that, guys, I've literally been wanting for 10, 15 years, and I just never bought it for myself, and that is the stage play of Guards. So, I own and have performed the stage play of Weird Sisters and Mort, both of them. And I have those scripts, and they are just amazing to read. Pratchett's scripts, seeing how they do it for the stage, is just so much fun. And I've always wanted the Guards one, but I never really went looking for it, because back then when I got the other ones, these were hard to acquire because the internet was not quite so pervasive, and Amazon, I don't even think Amazon was really a thing the last time I got these. I think I had to literally order them directly off of Pratchett's website or something. And then every time I've looked for this in the past, and then I completely forgot about it, it's just been hard to find, and she found it and sent it to me, and I am so grateful. This is so amazing. Oh, I would love to stage this one day. Just so good. So Evie, thank you so much. Congratulations on your Jeopardy victory. You're amazing. Guys, please show Evie some love. She is incredible. Come check her out. She's in a bunch of different Discords. Shelf Space, Knights of Alexandria. I know she just got started in Malazan. She's over there in Andy's server. She's just everywhere. So go check her out. She's incredible too. So 2 more sets of books. This is run really long. I'm so sorry. This is by the Right Atrium. Wonderful friend, fellow greatcoat, patron, Right Atrium of the Knights of Alexandria, and that is Charmaine. And Charmaine sent me first Boosh, Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. So this is like the first book of Mark Lawrence's series that I have. I have Prince of Thorns and Prince of Fools, and then this one. And I don't know which one I'm going to start with. One day I'm going to sample Mark Lawrence, and I just haven't decided which one I'm going to read. This one is about assassin nuns, which, battle nuns are awesome. We just played a game called King's Dilemma where we had battle nuns, and battle nuns are awesome. Assassin nuns, I mean, that's a minus. Battle nuns, cool. Assassin nuns, we'll see. So I don't know. I've heard mixed things about really Mark Lawrence just in general. I know my buddy Mark over at Slowly Read, he loves Mark Lawrence, and he counsels me to start with Prince of Thorns. But I just don't know. I just don't know what I'm going to do when I start Mark Lawrence. But Red Sister, I'm kind of leaning towards this one, or Prince of Thorns. Prince of Fools, I think, it takes place in the same world as Prince of Thorns, so I should probably read that first. She also sent me Boosh, The Dagger's Path, no, The Dragon's Path by Daniel Abraham, book 1 of The Dagger and Coin. So, Daniel Abraham is one of my new favorite authors, having read the 3rd book in the Long Price Quartet. I love that series now. He just writes really different fantasy. This book, this series is about what wins wars, the dagger or the coin. Is it money that wins wars, or is it soldiers that win wars? And that's just such a cool concept. I have heard that the concept is cooler than the execution. We'll see. But as soon as I finish Long Price Quartet, I gotta find a way to start reading this series, because I really love Daniel Abraham. I'm so happy that I have this book and can start it like as soon as I'm able to. I don't really know what this particular one's about. I think there's a soldier, an orphan. It's a ward of a banking house, and a noble. Oh, that'll be good. So banking houses, nobility, political intrigue, economic intrigue, and then combat. I'm excited. And then the final book that Charmaine sent me that is hilarious because everyone thought it was a joke to start with is Fires of Vengeance by Evan Winter. So Charmaine loves the Burning series. She really loved Rage of Dragons. I did not, as you know, if you've seen my review. But I still want to read the 2nd book, Fires of Vengeance, because much of my problem with Rage of Dragons is that I hated the first 50 pages because it took me forever to acclimate to what was going on, and some of the dumb stuff that happens in Rage of Dragons. But that stuff's already done. So unless it starts again with the first 50 pages being super obtuse, and they do the same dumb stuff that happened in the first one, I imagine I'm going to like this significantly better. So I am excited to read this, but it is funny. Everyone thought that she was trolling me, but she was just really trying to be nice. Guys, Charmaine is amazing. I'm going to link her Bookstagram account down below. I think that she is starting a BookTube channel this year, and that's amazing. We're all super excited to support her. Charmaine is so nice and so kind and so incredible. Guys, this BookTube is such an incredible community. Like, I've met so many wonderful people. So, Charmaine's amazing. And finally, I'm going to show you a whole bunch of books in rapid succession, and they are all sent to me by Kevin, the Undying. So, Kevin messaged me one day and said, hey, I have a bunch of these paperbacks that I'm getting rid of, or I have duplicates of, like, do you want them? They're mass market paperbacks. He also likes mass market paperbacks like I do, unlike the rest of you, like elitist bourgeoisie that think that paperbacks are scum and that hardbacks are the only way to go. I know that Jessie herself she puts her paperbacks right next to the window, and she leaves the window open like while it's snowing outside, so that the paperbacks freeze, that when they drop, they kind of break in half, and then she laughs as she dumps them in the garbage. And it's just so cruel, and I don't believe in that. So Kevin is a fellow mass market paperback supporter, and so there's a bunch of books, and he sent me a bunch of them. One of the most awesome ones was a signed copy by Josiah Bancroft of Cinema Sins, and that's just so kind and so nice. So I'm going to go through these really quickly. Way of Shadows, Boosh by Brent Weeks. This is the first book of the Night Angel trilogy. This is Brent Weeks' first trilogy about an assassin before he wrote the Lightbringer books. I've heard that this series is significantly weaker than the Lightbringer books, though my buddy Macon really likes the Night Angel trilogy. He swears by them, so he wants me to read them. And I'm going to get to it. I want to read something by Brent Weeks soon. I think there's an assassin named Durzo. I don't know. But it's about assassins, so we'll see. Next, and like, can you believe it? Look at this. Look at this. Willful Child by, look at that. Steven Erikson. Malazan. Mr. Malazan himself wrote a sci-fi book. I don't know what it's about, but it's a sci-fi book written by Steven Erikson. I don't even know what to say about that. And it's 300 pages. Like, I literally had to look up to see if this was the same Steven Erikson. It is, but it's a space book, and it's 300 pages, and it's written by Steven Erikson. So, I mean, I don't know. Have y'all read this? If you've read this, please tell me, is this good? Like, what's it about? If you've read this, please comment. Next, Acacia by David Anthony Durham, book one, The War with the Mean. I have never seen book 2 of this. I think I've looked up, and I'm not sure if like book 2 never got published or something, but this is about like 4 royal children, like 4 scions of a royal family whose dad is assassinated, and then they have to deal with their lives after that. And it sounded really cool. So it's been on my list to read. I am excited to read this. I just don't really know what it's about beyond that, and I would hate to finish it and realize that the series doesn't continue. Have you read this? If you've read this, please tell me about this as well. Boosh, Lovecraft Country by Matt Ruff. This is an HBO show now. I have not seen it, but this is steeped in Lovecraftian lore. I think it deals with the Dunwich Horror a lot. Guys, you know that I love Lovecraft. I haven't actually read any on my channel just yet. I probably will this October. I wasn't able to last October. I am a huge fan of Lovecraft and the way he writes horror and just the atmospheric, just slow build to dread that he writes. Arkham Horror, not the most recent edition where it like pares it down, but the big expansive edition with all the boards is my favorite cooperative board game. So good. I'm excited to read this. This takes place in the 50s with just filled with Lovecraft stuff. I gotta read. I'm probably gonna read this in October. Next, The Darkness That Came Before by R. Scott Baker. This is the first book in the Prince of Nothing series, and guys, my buddy Mark at Slowly Read swears by this series. He just binged the whole series, has spoiler videos, spoiler-free videos. He loves this series. I know Brittany over at Books with Brittany is currently reading this. This is grimdark, very political and philosophical, which the philosophical stuff, I don't really need all of that. But it's supposed to be super complex and super dark. I have been wanting to read this one. I know Andy at Andy Smith really wants to read this one as well. So I'm hoping that I can actually fit this in maybe this year. Yeah, I definitely want to fit this in this year just because hearing my buddy Mark talk about it, it sounds really interesting and not like anything else that I've really heard of or read. So this is cool. What I'm most probably excited to read that Kevin sent me is these 3 books, the Engineer trilogy by K.J. Parker, Devices and Desires, Evil for Evil, and then the much shorter 3rd book, The Escapement. This is about an engineer who literally, he's an actual engineer, kind of in like a Renaissance-ish kind of Italy setting, where there's merchant princes and stuff, and he manufactures a war so that he's exiled from the city, and so he creates a war so that he can return to the city and return to his family, and it just sounds right up my alley. I've never heard anybody talk about these. I just like weird books, guys. I don't know why the stuff that appeals to me, but it freaking does, and I'm super excited to read these. I'm definitely going to read the Engineer trilogy this year. Definitely. I have to get in some K.J. Parker, because it just seems like he writes stuff right up my alley. This kind of economic intrigue that Daniel Abraham does. I'm so pumped to get to this as well. And finally, the very last book in this howl is A Cruel Wind, Chronicle of the Dread Empire by Glenn Cook. This is the first kind of bind up of some of Glenn Cook's Dread Empire series. I don't know anything about them. I know that the Dread Empire was written before the Black Company, and I know that I love the Black Company, and I've read through the Black Company 3 different times, and I'm currently working my way back through it. I am really excited to see some other stuff that Cook has written. I haven't read his detective, but Dirk Bentley or something like that. Dirk, maybe isn't a country singer Dirk Bentley? I don't know. Dirk Struan? No, that's from Taipan. Dirk somebody. Dirk something. I haven't read any of those, and I haven't read his Instrumentalities of the Night. I've heard that those aren't particularly great, but I have heard good things about the Dread Empire. I think the Black Company, I don't think it's going to top the Black Company, but I'm super excited to read it. Any book about empire and military. Glenn Cook writes military fantasy with the best of them. I love the Black Company, so I'm really excited to read this as well. Kevin, thank you so much for your generosity. Kevin is amazing as well. I'm going to put his Instagram down in the comments or in the description as well. So guys, this was super long. Thank you so much, everybody that sent me something. You guys are incredible. This is such an amazing community. I have such amazing patrons and such amazing friends, and I am truly blessed to know all of you. I'll be back eventually with part 2 of this, which are the books that I bought for myself that I've acquired since September. But guys, thank you so much for watching. That's it for me for today. As always, information about my Discord if you want to come hang out with any of these delightful people, or my Patreon are down in the description, and I will see you guys next time.